Hello guys, today we will find out the organizations, their members, and relations of members to different organizations from a popular manga series, Death Note. First we will talk about Kira. It is the figure attributed with causing the epidemic heart attack deaths of criminals. The name Kira was created by the public in response to Light Yagami's initial use of the Death Note. Its members are Light Yagami. After he discovered the Death Note, he decides to use it to rid the world of criminals. Misora Main, she is the supporter of Kira who eventually becomes the second Kira. After gaining a Death Note, she seeks out Kira in order to thank him for killing the man who murdered her family. Kyosuke Higuchi is the third Kira. He receives the Death Note from Reem. Toru Mikami, he is a criminal prosecutor chosen as the hand of Kira by Light Yagami. Kira is noticeably different from other users of the Death Note in the series, as they only kill the elderly that wish to die. Minoru Tanaka, he receives Death Note from Ryuk, and explains that it is what allowed Kira to perpetuate his crimes 10 years prior. Japanese Task Force is the primary and only organization that is searching for Kira. The existence of the organization is not made public, and the names and personal information of all of the members are kept secret. L is the founder of Japanese Task Force. He requests that the task force refer to him as Ryuzuki as an additional safety measure. Light Yagami heads the organization and begins operating under the title of L after Ryuzuki's death. His father Soichiro Yagami is the member and initially leads the Japanese Task Force. Wedi is a professional cut burglar under the employment of L. She was invited in the Japanese Task Force. Aba is a professional conman who sometimes helps L do his dirty work. He was also invited into Japanese Task Force. Watari is LS handler and the supplier of logistics to the Japanese Task Force. Yamamoto is a member of the Japanese Task Force, who joins a year after Light Yagami's death. Sanemi is a character exclusive to the Death Note film series. She is a member of the Task Force. Shuichi Aizawa is one of the few people to remain in the task force when the majority of the members resign. Kanzo Mogi is a dedicated member of the Japanese Task Force. He is also one of the most reserved member. Tuta Motsuda is a young member of the Japanese Task Force. Hideki Ide is a member of the Japanese Task Force. Hirokazu Yukita, he was a member of the Japanese Task Force led by L. He serves the task force by answering any phone calls intended for them. Another organization, National Police Agency, is an agency administered by the National Public Safety Commission of the Cabinet Office in the Cabinet of Japan. Its members are Shuichi Aizawa, Hideki Ide, Tuta Motsuda, Hirokazu Yukita. Light Yagami, Soichiro Yagami, as chief, Kanzo Mogi, Yamamoto, Sanemi, Kanichi Takemura, and Ito Shiroba. Mafia is an American West Coast criminal organization allying with Mello. The group intends to possess a Death Note and thereby gain tremendous power. Leader of the Mafia organization is Rod Ross. He aims to have power. He allows Mello to join the group because they have the shared goal of taking down Kira. Its members are Jack Naylan. He has possession of Saidoa's Death Note after the gang manages to forcibly obtain it from the Japanese Task Force. Zack Irius, he approaches Soichiro Yagami at Narita Airport in Tokyo and flies with him to the United States. Mello, he joined Mafia because he wants to take down the Kira. Glenn Humphreys, he is a veteran member of the Mafia who works for Rod Ross. Rashul Bid, he is a veteran member of the Mafia. He, along with Glenn Humphreys, formed the core of the Mafia organization. Miller, he has been described as an incompetent guy. Jose, he dies when the Japanese Task Force raids the Mafia hideout in order to retrieve the Death Note. Roy, he dies when the Mafia's base is stormed by Task Force. Skaya, he also dies when the Mafia's base is stormed, alongside Roy. Badoro Collett is a member of the Mafia, who along with Eddie, is responsible for monitoring Kanichi Takemura. Rat is a member of the SPK who acts as a spy for Mello. And Seem Sold, he is seen on the list of Mafia members. Another organization is Yotsuba Group. It consists of 8 executive members of the Yotsuba Corporation in the Death Note series. Kyosuke Higuchi, he is the head of technology development at the Yotsuba Corporation and one of the 8 members of the Yotsuba Group. Shingo Maido, he is the Vice President of Corporate Strategy and the Director of Financial Planning at Yotsuba. Riji Namikawa, she is the Vice President of Sales at Yotsuba and is described as most talented of the board members. Eiichi Takahoshi, he is the Vice President of Yotsuba Material Planning Division and Yotsuba Homes. Suguru Shimura, he is the head of personnel in Yotsuba. He is a very paranoid person and always keeps a close eye on others. Masahiko Kida, he is the Vice President of Rights and Planning at Yotsuba. Tokishi Ui, he is the Vice President of VT Enterprises at Yotsuba. He is the eldest and most influential member of the Yotsuba Group. And Ariyoshi Hattori, he is the Vice President of Marketing at Yotsuba. He is the illegitimate son of the company president and uses this fact to benefit himself. Another organization, Special Provision for Kira or SPK, is a group of elite anti-Kira FBI and CIA members. Near and George Cyrus are the founders of the Special Provision for Kira. Anthony Resta, he is second in command and its operations leader. He works closely with Near. Stephen Gavani, he is in charge of SPK's computers and communications, such as when he puts Near through to L during one of their online confrontations. Hallie Lidner, she is a former Secret Service and CIA agent who joined the SPK to avenge a close acquaintance who was killed by Kyosuke Higuchi at the time when he acted as Kira. Steve Mason is the director of the FBI and a member of the SPK. Elixon Gardner, he died along with most other members of the SPK. He dies of a heart attack after the Mafia obtains a death note from the Japanese task force. John McEnroe, he is an FBI agent and a member of the SPK. Rat, he is a member of the SPK who acts as a spy for Mello. Another organization, Whammy's House, it is one of several orphanages established by Quilsh Whammy. It was founded in Winchester, England. Its founder is Watari. Roger Ruvi, he is the manager of Whammy's House when Watari is not present. He later takes on the role of Watari and works with Near, who becomes the third L. Linda was a resident of Whammy's House before graduating and becoming a professional artist. Beyond Birthday, he is a former successor for L from Whammy's House and the serial killer behind the Los Angeles BB murder case. A, he was the original potential successor of L and a former resident of Whammy's House. Matt, he is Mello's friend who lends him aid on the Kira case. L was brought up in Whammy's House before joining Task Force. Mello was brought up in Whammy's House before joining Mafia. Near was also in Whammy's House before SPK. Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI, is a governmental agency belonging to the United States Department of Justice serving as both a federal criminal investigative body and an internal intelligence agency. Ray Penber, he was an FBI agent. He died during the investigating Light Yagami. His wife Naomi Misora, after Kira kills Ray and the other 12 FBI agents assisting L with his investigation in Japan, Naomi begins her own investigation. Steve Mason and John McEnroe were also the members of FBI. That was all for today. Thanks for watching. Comment down your suggestions for next video. Till then, take care.